Going live, so you should be able to refresh and wait in a few seconds, and then it's going through the processing now, starting the stream. Stream is live. Hey, Donkey, what's up, man? Sooty, John, Canada, Wayne, what's going on? Hey, Ed. I know there's other people live right now, so... What's up, Master John? Chili Potato, always film. Hey, Modified Mommy. Are you in there? You see in the chat?
Yeah, I'm in there. I'm looking at you.
Yeah, well, sometimes the notification goes out, sometimes it doesn't. So sometimes I got, 100 people in here. Sometimes I got 30. Hey, Tay. So, everybody, this is Shahana. This is my, technically we're still married, but we're not together anymore. We're just very good friends. She's the mother of my children. So, this is Shahana, everybody.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Otto. Hey, Larry. Clash. Yeah. So we just talking about... Hey, DJ Gemini. What's up, man? What the heck? Otto the Watchdog just wrote, "Call me Shahana."
I know, I saw that. I also ignored that.
Hey, I finally... Wait a minute. He almost spelled it right. Hey, BLW. Yeah, we are. We're still very good friends. We still have a lot of the same interests. Shoot the breeze.
Yeah.
So, I figured it'd be nice to have her on and we could talk about, her name is Shahana, Tay. Hi, Brian's better half. I do get some trolls in here, too, so you'll see people talking shit. It just happens.
Yeah.
But, I figured we'd shoot the shit about what kids are learning in school these days, and, almost, there's two ends. You're close, though, Master John. Hey, Nebraska. Hey, Nuck and Futz. Thunder Rolls, what's up? Guess people are still piling in. Shahana. S-H-A-H-A-N-N-A. Shahana. There you go, Master John.
Thank you. I just feel very far away.
Yeah, so... Now, see, we grew up very different, her and I. I grew up in their city, in her ghetto, all that. She actually grew up out in more suburban area. She actually had like a farm across the street from her where she grew up. So... hey, Ohio, that's my ex, the mother of my children. Wow, we lost a few. See, it'll go up and down. Like, you'll have like 25 people, then 50, then 20, and you never know. You never know what makes people happy. It's frustrating. But, so she grew up suburban, so, I told you guys, I went to School of the Arts for high school, and I actually had a constitutional class. What? Master John, smartass. So, do you remember what you learned about the Constitution in high school, or?
Well, we talked about that a little bit, and I only remember pieces of what I learned about the Constitution. History is not my strong point. Uh, English is, math is, science, definitely. But when it came to history or how the country became what it is, I'm a little shady on that. And that's not due to any fault of the school that I was in, because actually the school that I was in was pretty strong uh, in the educational field. I was in Hilton Central. And for me, I think that even the little bit I retained is a heck of a lot more than what the kids in the inner city actually retain. They gloss over so much of the information. It's like, hey, we got the Constitution. It's this ratty old piece of paper that you can see in a museum somewhere. And about those drugs that you're doing. So let's go over that. That's how quick it seems that they discuss the Constitution. The same as, why do we have a Black History Month? Why do we have a women's rights activate month? The Spanish month. I apologize. It's the Hispanic Latino month. Those things. They gloss over all of the things that actually make the country what the country is, just to get to, all right, I need you to take this test. I need you to fill out this paperwork. Get out. And then you go out into the world and you have no clue what you're actually supposed to do. That's what I feel that they're doing to our kids nowadays. Now, that's how I view it in the city that I'm in. In other cities, it may be, if you do not understand what the Constitution is and don't get it right on this test and be able to say it from 6th grade all the way to 12th grade, you're not graduating. There may be cities and schools that do that, that press that want kids to know and understand what their rights are. I'm just saying it's not here. It's not in this city. Right. It's not in this county. You know, I could go, I don't care if I went to Wheatland Chili. I bet if I asked the Wheatland Chili kid, they were like, oh, I have the right to bear arms. I can talk crap on Facebook, and, you know, I can tweet my sandwich that I just had. You know, those are the things that they know. And that's really a sad life that we live in now. Everything is just too fast. They're all about instant gratification. Nothing in this world is instant. If you want to plant a seed, it's got to take the time to grow. It's not going to grow you a tree tomorrow. You know, and they're not teaching kids patience, learning, absorbing, retaining. That's the big thing. They don't retain anything that they get. It is all spit and spew. Hey, I got it today. I don't need it tomorrow. The kids that I talk with and that I work with at schools, when they're learning about math, they often say, well, when am I going to use this? Well, I don't need this, or I don't need algebra. Actually, yeah, you do. It's an everyday thing that they're not understanding the application of it. The same as, well, why does the Constitution, what does that have to do with me? I'm in a free country. I can do what I want. Well, how do you know? You don't know what your limits are. And then when you go over it, you want to act shocked. I didn't know I was going too far. Yeah, you did. It was written down. Well, nobody told me where it was. They told me it was a ratty old piece of paper in the museum. And then they want to slap you for ignorance when they're the ones that made you ignorant.
Yep. That's exactly it. I mean, yeah, DIY Deb, you're right. She said, all she remembers is you cannot scream fire in a crowded movie theater. You know, they did not teach us. I mean, well, like I said, I had a constitutional class in high school, but that was because I went to School of the Arts. You know, they actually focused on learning. You know, most of the city schools, they didn't teach crap. And now, our kids, like I said, I asked Brianna the one day, what's the First Amendment? And she looked at me like I was crazy. You know, she had no clue. And, I mean, you know, Brian and Phoebe, it's the same thing. They just don't know. Right.
Phoebe, on the other hand, I am impressed with the school that she's in. She's unfortunately, unfortunately, I put a little slash mark in between those. She's at a charter school. and they do focus on the history and they show the application. Last year, I was blessed to be able to go with Phoebe. What?
Look at what Monkey said.
Oh, jeez.
A
Thank
whole
you.
lot of money, Monkey. A whole
Yeah,
lot. We've actually known each other since she was 13 and I was 14.
yeah. We got history.
It's a little bit.
Yeah,
Guys, isn't it
but
scary to think it's been almost 30 years?
don't be calling the age out like that.
Hey, you don't look your age. I look way older than our age. You still
You
look
look
younger.
at
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just thought it was funny what Monkey said.
no, I understand. But like I was saying, I was blessed last year to go with Phoebe on one of their field studies. They don't do field trips; they do field studies, which I think is way more beneficial. Um, and we went to Boston, Massachusetts, and it was wonderful. We're able to do a walking tour. We got to go to the Old North Church, and then well, now I'm on the spot. I can't think of the name of it. There's the Old North Church, and then the South Meeting Hall, and that was all about the Paul Revere and the American Revolution. And they took them through the steps of what happened that night. They debunked a lot of the information that you know we make jokes about. The one if by sea, two if by land. I may have messed that one up, but that's okay. It wasn't Paul Revere that put him up there. It was two other people that risked their lives to put those lights up there in the middle of the dark, going up a little. We walked it. It's like this big, getting my, wide hips up between this thing in the middle of the church to light a lamp so that the Americans, well, the then patriots, could be ready for the British that were coming. Things like that. That was the history that Phoebe learns, and she learns it on a daily basis. They pick a subject, they stick with it, and they show all aspects. Like this year is now about food and where does it come from. It's not just something you go to the grocery store. How does it get there? Not just the farmers that plant it, but the truckers that give it to you, the storage units that have to house it, the churches that donate the food that they get to the homeless, to those that are less fortunate. All of those aspects they've learned in this one year. And they go to many places to learn, well, okay, I learned about the distribution. Well, what about solar power and how does that help with the distribution? Does that give them the energy to do the distribution? They learn about water mills and how Rochester is the flower city. It's not the flower city just Flower, it's Flour. Because we were a farming town before all of the industry of Kodak and Xerox and things like that, and Eastman, I should say Eastman Kodak and things like that. So, oh, there goes my camera. Um, I say all of that where Brian, on the other hand, he's kind of midway. He's a little bit better on his history. I think it also has to do with paying attention.
Yeah.
He paid attention a little bit more than Diana does. But yes, to bring it all back, kids nowadays don't stay with the Constitution and understanding of it. It's just not taught well enough for the kids to know and to go out into the world and be safe and be self-reliant.
Monkey, he can't help himself. Yeah, see, guys, she can tell you, too. I mean, I'm always telling these people, because I always say, text me, don't call me, I can't hear you. I can't hear. She can attest to it, guys. She can tell you how... I basically had to have her yell all the time at home just so I could hear her. And I'd still be like, what? Huh? Hey,
Yes,
James
heaven
Bond.
forbid I be in the bathroom. I'm
It's
upstairs.
Shahana, not Shauna.
Of his intellectual capabilities.
Liana. Mhm.
Oh,
My
hey, Brian.
daughter's in the room. Hey, Liana, say hi to mommy. She probably didn't even realize you're on here.
Well, one would hope she's
Hey,
probably
great
staring
dude.
at.
America said, did you answer? But America is a joke's question.
Oh, the intellectual. Is that the intellectual question?
Yeah.
I don't, it kind of flew by.
What do
All
you think
right.
of my intellectual capabilities?
All joking aside, I love Brian's intellectual capabilities. He keeps me on my toes. We go back and forth all the time over whatever subject. I don't care if we're talking about this is an apple red. We will have a full on discussion going down either from the scientific details to does a ghost think an apple is red. That's how far range your intellect is. And you're always expanding it. You're always learning. You're always looking and seeking knowledge, and that I appreciate.
Yeah, I've told a couple people about Walter.
I know Walter was fun.
Walter was a ghost we had in our house, guys. It was freaking hilarious. Nothing will ever beat the balloon. Oh, this ghost actually moved the balloon. We sat, I shit you not, guys. We sat there and said, move the balloon to the left, and the balloon moved to the left. We said, bring the balloon here, and the balloon came to us. Me and her were sitting there dying. This freaking balloon did everything we told it to do. And then it never did it again. Ever.
Yeah, yeah. I think we took all the energy that he had to move that balloon for us. We were like, oh, do some parlor tricks. Oh, sorry, we took your energy. My bad.
But, yeah, I mean, you see, that's what killed me. Like I told you, I'm still really kind of, when I first got into this whole movement thing with these guys, you know, I never really cared as much about how the Constitution applied to life in general. I didn't think about it. I always did. You know how I grew up. I told you, the cops, they would just do what they want. And it was like you saw in the movies. And so, for me, watching these guys stand up to the cops, I was like dumbfounded. I'm like, what? They're cursing at a cop? What are they, nuts? Now, all that I've learned from this is why I wanted you, because we share so many conversations about so many different topics. That's why I thought, you would have a great opinion on this, and especially being the mother of my children, you see what they go through in school, and you see what they bring home in homework, and you know exactly what they're learning and not learning. And, I never would have imagined needing to know the Bill of Rights like I should have. I brushed it off. I brushed that whole class off. I was a math guy, computers and math. So, it's crazy to think how much the Bill of Rights applies to daily life. Like Monkey in the channel there, if you watched some of his videos, I would have never imagined you could stand up to cops the way he does. And when he does, I mean, he full on, he don't take no shit. And he's been arrested for it several times, but still, the end result is the same. He was in the right. And that's what I want the kids to learn. That's why I like when Brianna comes and hangs out in here. She can learn a little bit. It kills me to think, Common Core. I'm not very familiar with the Common Core. I don't know if you are or not.
I'm a little bit. The Common Core is as confusing as they say. Why would a teacher need to learn a completely new way to teach when the way that was already being used was fine? Uh, Common Core, it takes so long to get to the same answer. What they're doing is, instead of taking the kinetic child, the audio visual child, audio or visual child. There's one other category that I can't think of right now, and actually teaching in a roundabout way for all of them. They just said, "Oh, let's throw that away. We're just gonna plop a whole new way of doing math." It's like taking a child from kindergarten and saying, "Look, we're gonna teach you statistics right now." They're not ready for that, and there was no need to teach the child that way. Teach the child 1 plus 1 with a block, with writing on the board, and with actually physically taking an apple and an apple and saying, "I have two." Those are the ways you teach a child, and you did it all in the same 30 seconds. As opposed to saying, well, if you have one group of this and one group of this, then you can mesh this all on one side, and then there's 0 here and there's 2 here. How many do you have? 2. Yes, it's the same concept. You made it way more than it needed to be. I don't approve of Common Core. What I approve of is a more well-rounded, let's get the kids more hands-on. Sitting at a desk is not how a child learns. A child is a child. They're often saying, oh, our kids are becoming obese. Yeah, you make them sit in a desk for 8 hours a day and try to cram as much knowledge as you can in these 30-minute classes with 3-minute intervals to actually move. That doesn't work. It never has, never will. But you put a child in a classroom for an hour and go over both science and math at the same time, make English and history at the same time. They're going to learn because it's all hands-on. If I'm filling a beaker with water and I need a cup of water and a cup of water, or a cup of water and a cup of vinegar, I don't care, and you want to know what the reaction is, now you've taught them, I've got 2 cups of fluids. What is this going to do? Well, obviously nothing. You can put those 2 together for the rest of your life and it's not going to do anything. But the concept that you are teaching them both the math and the science at the same time is there. Now, yeah, that's also a new way of teaching. But it's not like Common Core where you're taking them way outside the box to try and cram them in. And you're expanding the time that they're learning this. You're getting them up out of the chair. They're not watching the teacher stand at the desk and pour these liquids together. You're having them do it themselves. They're active in their learning. That's what they need.
Hey, Regan.
And with learning the Constitution, you need to teach them, show them. You can't just sit there and say, well, watch these videos of these guys who are standing up against the cops. They don't have the background yet to get to that level.
Viana wants to come up and talk. Come on.
Okay.
Tell your brother to get off of Fortnite. Mommy's stuttering. He's using too much bandwidth.
Brian's not on Fortnite. It's Viana on it.
Oh. No, Regan, we're talking. This is my ex, the mother of my children. And we're talking about our children and what they're learning in school and so forth. And yes, you do need to advocate for. Regan is a powerhouse, Shauna. I mean, if you watch her videos, this woman is so tenacious. I mean, oh. There's my oldest daughter, everybody. There's Moby. How you doing, Biana?
Hi, Dad. I'm alright. You?
I'm alright. So, go ahead, throw your 2 cents in there.
Right.
So, what you were saying was like how we have to sit in a classroom, only 30-minute lectures, and like you said, having to stay in one spot and getting obese from that. Yeah, that's true. And like being someone that's still in school and has to go through that. On top of that, we get tons of homework from every class, which, yeah, is something everybody laughs about when I bring it up. But it's true. Like, you complain about us not being able to get enough time to study for tests, not passing it because of that, of piling on homework. Yeah, the homework is supposed to help you, but having 6 or 7 classes every day and then having homework in basically all those classes isn't really fair. Like, math, I don't do so good in that. That's definitely my weakest class. So having that, which I spend like an hour doing, struggling with, and then English I'd have, and then chemistry, which I get a thick packet in and have to watch videos for. It's quite annoying, I must say. And the teachers will sit there and be like, "Oh, how come you didn't pass this? Do you see what you gave us? Do you see the other class I have?" Yeah, kind of.
So, what is your solution then? Because no matter what, if you go into a job and they say, hey, you're going to be the secretary, you're going to have to write the memos, answer the phone, collect orders, greet people, all of these things. And that's going to be a constant everyday thing. You'd have to learn how to do it. You have to learn how to do it well. That's going to be an everyday. So you saying that I've got homework and I've got to do all of these classes, what would be your solution? What is the problem? What is the solution that you're looking for is what I'm trying to say. Or why would you want to change the homework? If it's not homework, then what else are you going to learn from?
It's not that I want to change the homework and not the amount, but yeah, for me, I time it in different pieces, and some of the homework is due on different days. So say I have math homework that could be due tomorrow, it's because it's one worksheet, and I have a chemistry thing that's due in like maybe the end of the week, Monday to Friday. Mm-hmm. So that I can understand with the packet that we get, but I cut my time up for when I do homework and all, and then my free time. But it's still kind of annoying that I still have English, pagan economics, and other classes that pile onto that. Like, for instance, I right now have a project due, granted in like 5 months or whatever it's called.
You don't have that many months.
How much is it? I forget. I lost track of it. But I'm getting all this paperwork done for it, and it's online too, but that's still, I have to put a lot of work into that.
That's going to, unfortunately, that's like life. Everything's going to have to do work. So the one thing I do notice that in the schools, do you have study hall?
No, because all my classes, I have all classes.
That was one thing that was different. I don't know, Brian, when you were in school, if you had study hall. But the way we were balanced out in my suburban school was everybody, no matter what, had a study hall, at least one each grade level. So from 9th to 12th, we had a study hall. And that was so that you could have the time to seek out the teachers, or they also had not quite in-house tutors, so much as just extra advisors on subjects and things like that. And the teacher that was heading up the study hall class, he or she would also be available to answer any questions on your homework. So that gave you a little bit more play with your free time, getting the things that you wanted done. And I find that in the city schools, they don't have that. It's all just classes and lunch. And I feel that whole mentality is not good either, as it shows. She's saying she's overwhelmed by the work that they're giving. I was given the same amount of work, but I think I didn't feel overwhelmed because I had that extra break.
See, me, I had too many study halls because I was ahead. So I was already, like 2 grades ahead, and I was, when I focused on my work, I flew through it. So, but then of course I started getting into the whole, running with the gangs and getting in trouble and all that, and I got myself kicked out of school. But see, the one thing I wanted to touch on, though, that it's a very touchy subject with a lot of people, is medications for children. I can tell you guys right now, she and I fought tooth and nail not to get anything for we did not want our son on anything. Did not want him on anything. But this kid would not focus. He would not. And he was failing bad. And we tried everything, guys. All kinds of counseling and this and that. We tried everything. Finally, put him on Ritalin. The kid's like a straight A student. I mean, you know, he plays chess. I mean, come on. What kids play chess these days? So, and not even, you know, not even digital chess. He actually knows how to use a chessboard. How rare is that? Because I get a lot of flack from people that are like, "Oh, you put your kid on medicine," but like, no, we did not want to at all. What's this? Does it? Oh, Cybertron, come on, man, my kid's in the stream. Smart ass. Cybertron's one of them people that we actually realized I knew him back in the old BBS IRC days, the old hacking days. So it was just kind of funny. But like I said, guys, we did not want him on that. But our son, just when he was on it, boom, the kid, like, his grades went up, his concentration got better. It was amazing what a difference. So,
in regards to that, though, it wasn't that the child wasn't smart. He was incredibly, and still to this day, is incredibly intelligent. It was just that he just had no impulse control. So if he thought it, he was going to say it. And it did not matter. So that's what was getting him in trouble. He wasn't a troublemaker or failing because his grades weren't there. It was because he finished his work and was like, oh, well, you know what? I feel like getting up and walking around the room. So he would get up and walk around the room. And that's what they were like, oh, he has no self-control, blah, blah, blah. And that's what we were working on, was getting him to understand you have to stay still. Or not still, but you do have to stay in your seat at least. The teachers were wonderful in working with us as well. One teacher in particular, she would give him Legos to play with. She would give him a squishy ball to play with. He had dominoes that he was allowed to. They had a red light, yellow light, green light situation where he would flip a little card over if he was having trouble with sitting still or he just wanted to walk around. And it was their internal signal of, okay, Ryan, how about you go outside the classroom and grab a pencil from Miss Whatever's class. And that just got him up and moving. But it just wasn't enough. And that's why we were finally said, all right, let's try this. And it worked. And it did.
Let's see what... Hold on, I want to see what your thoughts are on this before it scrolls off. But Regan said, boys do not learn at the same pace. They need to be boys. Do you agree?
I agree with that. It's the same thing as when they say girls mature faster than boys, and the whole, in 8th grade, girls are all towering over the boys, and it's the cute little, I'm down here, you're up here, that whole thing. It's the same with their mentality as well. As to the degree of the difference of boys learning and girls learning, it's not that much. It's just that boys are going to need more activity-based learning to burn off that extra energy, as opposed to a girl who is more, at that time, mature to just sit.
See, Regan says she's got 3 sons and 4 grandsons. And she said we are doing very wrong by boys. And I agree. Because I remember when I was back in school, and we certainly didn't burn off the energy like we should have.
Ooh, pardon me.
And yeah, it is. I do agree that I think it's relative. I think every kid. Some boys may learn at the same rate as girls. Some may not. I think schools should cater to the children more. Schools should cater to what their abilities are. And, if they show a higher level of intelligence versus sports, or vice versa, then cater to them. I think that school is too generalized. And that in that generalization, like Viana was saying, she's got 6-7 classes a day. They're trying to cram 6-7 different subjects into her head a day, plus homework. And yes, well, yeah, Regan, they should better, yep. But, like I said, my daughter here, she's doing animation now. She wants to learn about all that. Well, her school should then say, okay, well, you can focus more on computer class and less on gym or whatever. Allow her that option. I mean, not every kid is going to be a mathematician, historian, geography teacher. They don't need to do all that. If we focused more on what children are good at and help them grow in what they want to grow in, I think the world would be in a much better place. Because I know me, I wasn't a big... I played sports, but it wasn't my thing. I was math and computers. But, of course, back in the 80s and 90s, computers were very different. But still, like my daughter here, I think that they should put her in more computer classes. Let her focus more on what she wants to do. She's about to graduate high school. And they're cramming her head with all this crap. That, yes, she should know the basics. Yes, absolutely. Because there's no way she can decide what she wants to do in life unless she's at least introduced to it. But she's in 12th grade now. She knows. She's got an idea of the path she wants to take. So let her take it.
Someone who actually understands.
No, it's not that.
Yeah, exactly, Regan.
That you should know.
Yeah, that's true too, America. I could see that. That's another thing. My children have encountered racial situations. It's 2019, people. I'm white, she's black, kids are mixed. Get over it. I'm so sick of that. I know you guys are too. Right? My wife will tell you. Well, actually, I'm used to saying my wife, guys, so excuse me. But
even I don't care that you say it.
she'll tell you, she had a lot of white friends growing up because of where she lived. I had a lot of black friends because of where I lived. So what? I don't understand why people still focus on that. On gender, on this, on that. Who cares? Furry Potato is one of my most favorite people. She's half black, a quarter Hispanic, and a quarter white, and she's transgender. You don't get more diverse than Furry Potato. And I love watching her. People need to get over it. Sorry, catching up. Yes, see, Regan, trades. What do you think? You think that's true, Shahana? You think the schools should cater more to, especially at like the 12th grade level, what children or teenagers are aspiring to be?
I think it shouldn't be at 12th grade. It should be at ninth.
So starting at the beginning of high school.
At starting at high school, because right now colleges look at everything from ninth grade up. If you're waiting till 11th grade to finally tell a child, okay, you can now join this computer class, they've wasted 2 years that they could have been, you know, prepping themselves for the college that they want to get into. You can't, you're already holding them back on on that one issue alone. We're forgetting about the money that it may cost to get them there. How are they going to prepare themselves to get those scholarships or to even attempt to get those scholarships if the schools aren't there to help them start? I hope that made sense.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, and even Regan agrees. Ninth grade. You know, start there. I remember taking so many classes that I'm like, this doesn't interest me at all. I know where America is. I know where Europe is. I don't care beyond that. I cared about math, and I cared about writing software. That's what I did. You were big into music and stuff like that back then. You know, you guys should hear her play the piano, man. She tears up. But, you know, Viana, look at her now. She's interested in animation, so she should focus on a computer science class, a math class, things that revolve around the animation. I bet you I could say, Viana, where's Europe? She knows it's on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. I mean, I don't need to know, you know, GPS coordinates, but she knows it's over there. Done. She could always learn later if she's more interested in that. But I think schools, especially high school, need to cater more to what our children are interested in.
But on that fact, if you take away the learning of the other countries that you're with, you're minimizing their brains and the globalization that it is now in the world. You're on a YouTube channel that's global. But if you don't know what could or could not offend, attract, repulse, or bring in the viewers, because you say you want to go to Taiwan and attract people from that Taiwan, but everything that you talk about would offend them. You're never going to get them, but you wouldn't have known that without schooling. You know,
right? But that's where the beginning of all the way up to ninth grade, they're getting introduced to all these different things. I'm not saying completely take away geography or science, but don't make it such a requirement. You know, I think
you could do that. You have to have, in order to give them the basics, it has to be a requirement. You have to learn math, you have to learn social studies, you have to learn science.
The basics, yes. The basics. I agree. The basics. I don't think that they should spend 4 years learning about geography when obviously by 12th grade they have absolutely no desire to do anything related to geography. I don't think that they should be forced by 12th grade. I think it should be progressive. Like, you know, 9th grade, they take these many classes on this many subjects. And 10th grade, reduce what they're not interested a little bit, increase what they are interested. So, like, by 12th grade, Viana's half of her day should be spent focusing on what she wants to do in life. At least half of every day.
Mm-hmm. I understand that.
You know, not 6, 7 courses a day, plus 6 or 7 homework assignments. I mean, I think that's absurd.
That same thing. It's not that you're reducing the amount of homework, you're just reducing the type of homework. So by the time she's in 12th grade, she's taking computer science and math courses.
Right.
Of course, how you're saying. So it's not a reduction. It's just now because it's something that she wants to learn, there's a more focus and she'll be more apt to learn it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what makes sense. Not just focusing on they have to take 7, 8 subjects a day every single day for the rest of the high school, period. Because then by the time they walk out of high school, now not everybody can afford college. Yeah. We're not smart like other countries where college is free. You know, so there's no guarantee Brianna would be able to, like, for instance, would be able to afford college. So, but she still wants to pursue animation. Now, if she walks out of high school with minimal knowledge on that subject, she's not ready to enter the workforce. I mean, I'm sorry, but I think that they should be focusing more on getting her ready for what she wants to do in life.
Right, and I understand and I agree with that. I mean, I don't have any rebuttal to that. It's a good point. Yes, we want them to be college ready. That's what all of these high schools keep toting. Oh, we'll get your child college ready. And they keep talking about the 95% graduation rate. Who cares about how many kids you got graduating? How many are actually doing what they wanted to do when they wrote in that cute little book at the end of the thing? What do I want to be when I grow up? Are they actually there? Right. Did you support that percentage to get to where they wanted to be?
Yep, you're right. And oh man, it's so frustrating because I remember as I got older, I used to say, I don't want my children to ever have to go through all the crap I went through. You know, especially nowadays. But you know what kills me? Here's the opposite, though, is things like taking cursive out of school.
I could scream over that.
Yeah, I'm like, what on earth are they talking about? People still write in cursive to this day. So it's like, what, you wanted to turn into hieroglyphics for them? I mean, why would you want to take that out of school? I don't get that. It's been in school for as long as schools existed. So, you know, there's certain, it just makes no sense to me.
It's all about the digital age. Yes, we're in a digital age, but I'm sorry, you can't eat a digital apple. You still have to sign the document. You still have to, you know, write down the numbers. You know, those things still are applicable in life. Taking away cursive does nothing but hurt the future instead of help it. They say, oh, it's all online. Yeah. Why is it that a windstorm can knock out our electricity? How are you going to write your letters or things that you need to get done? How are you going to, you know, pass the message on? Nobody uses smoke signals. I'm sorry. It was a lost art. But again, it's a lost art. The same as our cursive is going.
You're right, Regan. Hey, Bob. Hey, so the kids can't read the original. Bob lives close to us. He's about 40 minutes away. But he says the kids can't, so they can't read the original Constitution. You're right. Constitution was written in cursive.
Right. Yes.
So.
A great deal of us understand where. Well, okay, I'm going to ask a question / put this out there. Wait, come back to me on that one.
No, but see, now, you know, what bothers me is, like, where's Brian?
He's not here, so we can't even put him on.
Okay, where's Phoebe?
Really?
We'll make her a star.
Yeah, huh? Okay. I'll be right back. I'm not about to yell.
Thanks, Canada. Yeah, but you're right, Bob. You're absolutely right. I mean, all them old documents were all written in cursive. I think every document related to the U.S. government in those days was all written in cursive. So, I mean, I never thought about that until you just said that. They don't, they don't want them to be able to read those old documents. They want to turn it into hieroglyphics.
Okay, so Phoebe is uncomfortable with showing her face, but she is here in the room. So
Oh, well, my youngest daughter's voice is in the room. Hi, Phoebe.
Hi.
Can you hear her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, Hawkwind. That is mine. So, Phoebe, do you know what the First Amendment is?
I learned about it, but I forgot about it.
So, do you remember any of the amendments?
No.
Or what they stand for?
She's
Like,
being shy.
What are your rights? You have the right to,
Vote? Well, yeah.
and
Don't say it to me.
just say it.
The only thing that I could think of was voting.
Okay, what are you doing right now?
Going to school.
Well, that too. But I mean, are you talking?
Yes.
Freedom of speech?
Mm.
Does that ring a bell?
Yes.
What about self-protection? What's the one about self-protection?
Don't-
You have the right to. There.
I don't remember reading that.
See, this is what I mean. Guys, I want you to understand my daughter Phoebe is very intelligent. But this shows you what they're teaching in school these days. Now, she's what, 8th grade? Right? Not, or 6?
You jumped her.
Yeah, I know. She's in 6, right?
Yes, 6th grade.
Sorry. A700 Club. So she's in 6th grade, guys. So that means she's well into junior high school. And she has barely been taught anything. Because if they were... I know, Rika, she's put on the spot. But I'm just saying, if she was taught with any type of repetition, it wouldn't be this hard to recall for her.
Right. About the Constitution.
Right.
Do you remember all of it?
Yes, I do.
Joshua says... Now, Joshua Haynes, I'm going to warn you right now, he's a character. So, he says he's got a few questions for you, and I'm sure they're pretty, not child-friendly. That's fine, Mystery. I know. That's why she's off camera. My point I wanted to make was that my daughter is very intelligent. She goes to a charter school, and yet she has not been taught with any type of repetition what the Constitution is, or at least what the Bill of Rights is. So, even the original 10 amendments, any one of those.
Right. And that's no fault of your own, Phoebe.
No, that's
right?
not, Phoebe. We're trying to show you're doing it right. They're doing it wrong.
Yeah, we're just discussing how schools and education are neglecting the Constitution and teaching you guys your rights so that when you leave from under my care and go out into the world, do you know what you are allowed to do and what your rights are and what others are allowed to do or not do to you? More often than not, they're going to do what they're not supposed to do to you. And you have to know, is that true or not? And that's what we're discussing.
Yeah, it's kind of like Phoebe. It's like if a police officer came up to you and said, show me your ID. What would you do?
If I had an idea, I'd show them.
See? The reality is, Viana, you don't have to.
That's Phoebe.
What did I say?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Okay, sorry, Phoebe. You don't have to. You don't, what's even worse is, see, you're a minor. You're under 18, so you really, all you have to do is say, I don't have to answer you, you have to talk to my mommy. But, hey, Albert Kazmarov, Shauna, he's actually blind.
Okay.
So he's a real cool guy, though. So you got blind and deaf in the room. But my point, Phoebe, is you know the law. They never taught you that you don't have to tell the cops no. They never ever taught you that. They didn't. The truth is, you do not have to give the cops your ID. You don't have to talk to them at all, especially as a minor. And I bet you they didn't teach her that either. The fact that she's a minor, she should be saying, "You need to contact my mother." Sandy, stop, damn cat.
Oh, I was like, "There's no Sandy in the chat."
No, the cat. I'm trying to keep him from hitting the speaker wire. I got one wire that's really touchy, and if you just brush against it, I lose all audio. And there's no way to fix it. So, but
Oops.
yeah, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, Phoebe. I just wanted to illustrate that even an intelligent young lady like you, they're not teaching you the right things in school. So,
Okay.
but I miss you and I love you.
Love you too, Dad.
So, thank you.
Bye, Phoebe. Can you shut that a bit, please? No, just a bit.
But that guy's, like I said, I'm not trying to toot my kid's own horn here, but she really is intelligent. Just the fact is, they don't teach her. 6th grade, and she doesn't even know what the First Amendment is. That's just...
So, I have a question then. You're talking about, only teaching them what they want to learn. Would the Constitution be something that's a mandatory class all 4 years of high school? So it's that repetition you're talking about?
No, I think by high school they should already know, at the very least, the basics of our government and the basics of the Constitution, which includes the first 10 amendments. They were ratified over 200 years ago. They should be part of the curriculum. By the time a kid walks into high school, they should know what freedom of speech is. They should know what the right to bear arms is. These are basic things that govern the entire country.
Well, I don't think it's a matter of they don't know it. They know it. They just don't have the number. You said, "Could you tell me what the First Amendment was?" And it was like, "Whoa, deer in the headlights" type of deal.
Well, no, she doesn't know it at all. She doesn't. It's not just that she doesn't know it's the First Amendment. She doesn't know the definition of it. She doesn't know how it applies. She doesn't understand anything about it whatsoever.
But I don't think anything before 6th grade is going to retain the basics anyhow.
Well, I guess that's hit or miss, but still, at the very least, even if nothing else, she should know freedom of speech. Even if she doesn't know what it means. Even if she doesn't know how to apply it. By now, she should at least know First Amendment means freedom of speech. She should also know by now, at 11 years old, that if a cop confronts her, she should say, "You need to talk to my mom." And that's that's where I'm getting at. Yes, I was taught that silly potato. By the time I went into high school, I knew the basics of the Constitution, and I knew the Bill of Rights. I actually had a class in high school that was about the Constitution as well. But I think, it's so different now from when we were kids. When we were kids, they demanded a lot more of us than they do now. At least in my opinion. Because I can remember, by the time I walked into high school, I knew algebra, basic algebra. I knew Constitution. I knew a lot of that stuff. And it seems like they don't teach any of that now.
Yeah, but I think what the difference is that the Constitution that you're talking about is introduced now. It's introduced in the 5th and 6th grade because that's the time they can learn. Kids really need to be, before that, they need to be learning, okay, how do I write? How do I understand what these words are put together? Because without having that, giving them the Constitution and saying, hey, these are the amendments is going to do null and void. They can't even read it. So they have to have the basics of reading it.
I get that. I get that. I understand it. I'm just saying I'm amazed that she wasn't even introduced to it yet. We are now several months into 6th grade at a charter school, and she, I mean, just even introduction, you know, I'm just amazed that she hasn't even been introduced to it. And even Vianna, though, you could call Vianna back in the room right now and say, Vianna, what's the 10th Amendment? And I guarantee you she can't tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And the 10th Amendment, in my eyes, is probably one of the most important ones. Because the 10th Amendment dictates that no law can exist that trumps the amendments at any level. So, we're all in New York, Regan. Upstate New York. But, you know, things like that, they don't teach that. They don't teach, like Vianna, they didn't teach her that the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, is the ultimate authority in this country. It is the end all. All laws end at the Constitution. So, the fact that she doesn't know, she's got, what, 5 months left of school, 6 months left, and she's out of school, she's done?
Yeah. No, she wants to go. She wants to go to college.
But I'm saying if she didn't go to college. But, hey, Wobbly Boost, he's in Australia.
Okay.
Even so, like, you know, here she is, she's old enough to drive, okay? She's old enough to get a driver's license. She's old enough to encounter police in a legal way. Now, even 16-year-olds can get a license. 16-year-olds, generally speaking, are still in school. So, why aren't they teaching these 16, 17, 18-year-olds what the law is, at least at a basic level? You know, 16-year-olds should know when they should and should not talk to a cop. They should know when they should and should not say, you need to talk to my parent.
Well, it all boils down to, if they don't know the power that they have, they're more easier to control.
Exactly. You're exactly right. Absolutely. And that's, a lot of people have been saying that in the channel as well. You know, it's so frustrating. Yeah. Oh, look, control. We got one. Oh, yeah. Well, see, Monkey, I didn't have that. And my kids don't have that.
Yeah, I didn't have that in high school either. Which would have been awesome, because there's a lot of things that I know now that I'm like, really?
Who is America talking to? Alright, Rod. Yeah, see that Shiza or whatever, just one of the trolls. We don't care about your ex. Well, we don't care about you. I get him in every stream. It's hilarious. I find the trolls funny as hell. But, well,
did anybody have a question or something? Because I kind of ran out of my soapbox.
Well, Monkey said all he told us in every class was never talk to the police. Well, there you go. It's true, though. You know, 16, 17-year-olds should be taught, A, they're still a minor. Even if they have a driver's license, they're still a minor. And They should, the very first words out of their mouth were, you know, yeah, if they get pulled over, okay. Maybe it was a traffic infraction or whatever. They could have broken a law. We get that. But they should know when to say, I would like to talk to my mother. I would like to remain silent until I speak to my mother. You know, or, I'm 17 years old. I need to call my mother. You could talk to her. You know, if Viana was driving, that's exactly what she should do if she gets pulled over. Even if it's her fault. Even if she ran a stop sign or something. She should say, I'm a minor. You need to talk to my mother. I think that's insanely important. Because you obviously have a lot more experience. You know what to do. You know what's right and wrong. She's still learning. You know, that's why I say you shouldn't be allowed to get your license till you're 18.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I personally don't agree with 16, 17-year-olds having a license. You should have to be an adult, 18 years old.
Right.
Yes, Rika, I get that, but... Sorry, let's see. Yeah, her name is Shahana. I'll spell it for you. You guys don't even want to know what Viana's real first name is because I don't know what Shahana was thinking when she came up with that name, but I'm sure it included a whole lot of liquor.
It's a very beautiful name. You'll leave it alone.
I named the next two.
And he named all the cats and dogs. That's how controlling on the names this man was. The only thing he didn't name was the turtle, and that's because it was given to us with a name. Thank you, Reagan. I appreciate that. And I try to be more involved in teaching them all the things that I learned over the years without being so anecdotal.
Yeah, see, you guys don't, I mean, like she said earlier, we could sit there and have 10-hour-long conversations about physics or math or clowns, ghosts, you name it. We still can. To this day, we still talk about things, and it's like, we could listen to each other talk forever. And that was what's great. That's why we're such good friends. I've never known anybody else that I could talk to like that. So, mystery, they're picking on me because of what I said about Viana's name.
Yeah.
What do you want? Oh my god, what a pain.
The cat?
Yeah, this right here.
I see.
He doesn't leave me alone.
I'm pretty sure as soon as Alduin's done eating, he'll be in my lap in a moment.
Well, it's like I can put him out of the room and he'll scream to come in, but as soon as I bring him in, he wants to go out. It's lose-lose.
Right.
So, but see now, like I said, I was telling you earlier about that guy in Colorado. His, like literally, I mean, and the videos are online. It was recorded from like 4 different angles, including his camera in his hand. And he literally actually he didn't even say anything till after the cops grabbed him, because he was just sitting there shooting the shit with a cop, just talking general stuff. And it was a Feed the Homeless event. They do it every Sunday. And he was just talking to the cop, and all of a sudden this other cop came barreling up in his SUV, you know, parked real fast, and jumped out and like you threatened my officer with a knife, and grabbed him. Like, literally. And that's when he said, it's just a tool, because he uses it as a tool. You know, it was a legal blade. Well, that's still up in the air. Because some say 3 inches, some say 3.5 inches. You know, but the bottom line is, he never said anything about having a knife or having a weapon at all. Nothing. And they slammed him down, he grabbed him, pinned him, arrested him. You know, he actually went into a seizure, and they had to call an ambulance. And this was all recorded. Yeah, Bob, we got a bunch of it heading this way. He's getting hit with snow, which means we're going to get it in about a half hour to an hour. But, she's actually right in the city. I'm on the outskirts of the east end of the city. But he's out towards Tonawanda. But, yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Like, I mean, how would you react in that situation if they did that to you?
Wow.
Or how do you think you would react?
Honestly, no fluff, no whatever. I'm not like the big, tough, stereotypical African American. The bad stereotypes, you know, the ones that are, let me take my earrings out, let me take my rings off, that junk, and I'm gonna throw down, take a weave out, that type of deal. I'm not that type of person. So for me, that would be both heart-wrenching, scary, and uncalled for. As to my reactions, I'd probably just be dumbfounded at, wait, you have to explain to me what's going on and why you're doing this, because I didn't know I was doing anything wrong, just standing here talking to you. All of a sudden, it's bad that I'm talking to you? So that would be where my mindset would be at. Until, I don't know, maybe their boss or their superior, I apologize, their superior came around and was like, hey, you're doing wrong, or, oh, we apologize, which will never take away the hurt or the fear. But until that happens, I think that would just sit heavy.
Look at what Rika just said in the channel.
Yeah. The grade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never thought of that. It's a very good point. It's like, you know, for example, like as I told you, you know, she's done music courses and all that stuff. What constitutes her being legally allowed, I guess you'd say, to be a music teacher? I mean, you know, like Rika said, why should you have to have a master's degree to teach anything? Why should she have to have a master's? I mean, is there even such a thing as master's degree in music? I mean,
yeah,
there is.
They go the same. They go the same as getting a doctorate and all of that. There's no difference. But I kind of understand why, though, you would need a master's degree to teach first grade. It's not just about, I passed first grade, so here, I'll teach you how to do A, B, and C's. There's so many other aspects. What do you do if a child is not learning? That's what the teaching gives you. It gives you the education on how to teach. That's what the master's is for. It's not to say that, oh, you're too stupid to teach it, even though you passed it. It's not about that. It's about sharing the knowledge that you have with others so that you can grow the people below you in a, you know, vague term.
Yeah, but
that's my opinion of it.
I can, to an extent. I don't think you should have to pay for 4 years of college to be able to teach a first grader something. I just don't. I mean, I can understand learning a little bit of child psychology or whatever so that you're better capable of handling a room full of first graders. I get that. But maybe that should just be a course unto itself, one little qualifying class. Not have to go and pay for 4 years or 8 years or whatever college just to do that. Why can't there be
a... talking about high school. You
huh?
know, want to go there for what I want to be. You know, it's the same for where we were talking in high school from 9th to 12th. Okay, yeah, 9th and 10th, yeah, you get a little bit of the extra courses. If you're going for computer science, you're going to get a little bit of history, a little bit of English, just so you know the basics. But we're going to focus the rest of your time as on the computer sciences. Whereas in colleges, yeah, the whole I have to take liberal arts. Why? That's where the whole. That's why it takes 4 years to get a master's. You can get a master's in 1 year if you were allowed to take only the courses that you needed.
Exactly. That's how it should be. You know, I mean, oh, God, it's so frustrating. Especially now with Viana getting ready to graduate high school and the fact that she wants to pursue a computer-related course.
Mm-hmm.
I know how hard that is. I did it. And it just sucks that they make it so hard. She should not have to go, like you just said, liberal arts. You know, college is, you choose to go there. It's not a requirement.
Mm-hmm.
You're paying, now in America's case, we have to pay for college. So we're paying them to teach us classes that have nothing to do with what we want to be.
Right.
And that's just ridiculous.
Take electives.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. They should have a course that says, you want to be a first grader teacher, you take this. You want to teach high school English, you need to take this. You want to be a rock star, here's our music classes. I mean, you have to take all three.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but what the hell does gym have to do with computer science? I mean, I'm sorry, but I hate that. The fact that children, I mean, I can understand the younger years having children learn, do physical education, keeping them in shape, especially in this day and age because of people hate when you say in this day and age. But cops say it to us all the time. Seriously, if you watch our videos, in this day and age, the terrorism and this and that. But at any rate, in this day and age of the technical world, I get it. Kids spend so much time playing video games and stuff. It's good for them to learn physical education. But now that, Viana's in 12th grade, she should not be forced to take gym. It has nothing to do with what she wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just frustrating as hell.
It is. The focus of what is actually needed in the world is so, well, not the world, in America, is so skewed. That's the problem. Or that's one of the many problems, at least. So, I don't know. I mean, it is what you're doing is educating the people on what their rights are, what their voice is, teaching them that they need to use their voice in a proactive and helpful manner, because there's a lot of people that'll use their voice and it's nothing but dirt and junk. So,
well, Otto just said.
Where? Who? Otto?
Yeah, Otto the Watchdog.
Oh. Well, yeah. School should end after. Why would Carolina say that?
Well, everybody's got their different opinions, but
Well,
Well,
I was asking.
no, in a way, though, I mean, for a lot of students, she's right. By the time in high school, the difference between ninth grade and 12th grade is so minuscule. It's like what they learn is so little. That's why it should be like 11th and 12th grade at least should be electives. It should be college at a high school level. You know, you choose what you want to learn, not being forced. You should still have to, I think to an extent, you should still have to choose something. I don't think you should just say, okay, I finished 10th grade, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think because they still need to learn to push forward. So that's when it comes down to, okay, you only got 2 years left of school before you enter the working world, where you're supposed to establish a career and earn your keep in life. What do you want to do? You know, and then let's learn about it. You know, or if you're still on the fence and you don't know, then you take multiple things till you're sure. But it should be there. It should be optionally. You can choose, not forced curriculum. Because, like, especially the difference between 10th grade and 12th grade science, or 10th grade and 12th grade geography. I mean, come on. By 10th grade, they know where Europe is. They know where Australia is. They know, Mayans came from South America and Central America. And, they know that stuff. So, now let's focus on what they actually want to do in the real world. 11th, 12th grade. Well, Carolina and Fort Worth just...
I saw that. I just read it.
If you want, I could give you her number. She's a cool chick. One of my big supporters.
She's not a junior anymore. She's a senior with 5 months.
No, she meant a college junior.
Oh. I'm sorry, I misread that.
She's a teacher. So, she's obviously in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
But she's funny as hell. She does these really funny videos. And see, we deal with what we call sheeple. The people that are the sheep, they just flock and do what they're told and go feed in the fields and they don't care about anything. And she does a lot of really funny videos about sheeple. So,
okay.
You'll notice some people are blue. Those are my moderators. So, they can kick out, like, ban people and delete messages and stuff, in case you were wondering. But you see, this is like, you have a lot of knowledge. That's why I wanted you on here, is I think the world would benefit from you doing this in things that you love. Your writing, your novel stuff. I'm sure a lot of these people, they like the same kind of books we do and would love to talk to you about that.
Yeah, the funny thing is, what I read is a lot different, I find, than what I write.
Well, yeah, but, we read and write a lot of medieval stuff, fantasy stuff, things like that. Mm-hmm. You guys don't know, she's writing a couple books, and Ed Hartgrove is originally from here. Now he's old.
Okay.
Carolina.
Okay.
Now there's this, I gotta figure out how to turn off that damn notifications for that program. It's annoying as hell. Yeah, no more of those, please. No more? At any rate. See, this is what, now you see. Oh, okay, it was an accident. Sorry, Mystery 13. She didn't mean to, and it's only a timeout, though. It's only for 300 seconds. I can't undo a timeout. I can only undo a hide. So, it happens. But this is like, you can see how easy this is. Like, Viana wants to do this. You see how, a couple clicks of a button, and look at this. You got me at my house, you at your house, in a channel with people from all over the world. You know?
I don't discount the ease of it. It's very uncomfortable for my face to be.
But you don't have to be on camera all the time. I hated being on camera too, but it was my subscribers that pushed for it. They wanted me on the damn camera. I didn't. I'm like, I have a face for radio.
As soon as I get like 15 short stories, then maybe I'll make a channel, but I'm going to leave my novels for, you guys will just have to grab it from the big publishers.
Yep. Here's one. Carolina. I could not shut up for 300 seconds. Yeah, it's happened. Sometimes I'll accidentally click. Like, I moderate for a lot of people, and I'll accidentally you might have like 300 people in the channel, so it's like zooming by, and somebody may like say a racist comment, so you go to click to time them out and delete the message, but it's scrolling so fast you click the wrong person, and and then it starts a big headache. Albert says he'll subscribe to you.
Oh, thank you, Albert.
Albert's a great guy. He's got a screen reader and an automatic braille machine that just automatically creates pop-up braille as it's scrolling by. So that's how he's listening to me talk, but he's also reading the chat through a screen reader and through his hands. Really cool. He's explained it to me. It sounds really cool.
That sounds awesome, actually.
Braille display, yeah. Now we got another new blind guy. He's actually out auditing. He goes by Blind Justice, and he's actually in the field filming cops and stuff and going to public buildings and filming and all that and having police encounters and the guy just started, and in a week he's already got more subscribers than I do. I mean, he's good, and he's blind, and he's still doing it. It just goes to show. Huh?
I said, take your glasses off, then you can be blind too.
Yeah, but I'm not that blind.
I'm not making fun of blind people. I'm just making fun of Brian.
No, I'm just deaf. I mean, but it just goes to show that, whether you got a hearing impairment or a visual impairment or whatever, we're still doing this. We're trying to make a difference. I mean, any way we can. Even if it's just educating our children.
Right.
Even if it's... That's another reason, like I said, why I wanted you on here. The video I did with Viana here that day, months ago, was actually a pretty good hit. It got quite a bit of views. And people, they responded to it. They, they liked the idea of involving the next generation. And I even get on here a guy who goes by the name of Law and Smoke. He's a former cop turned law professor. And he teaches the next generation of cops. So, I've had him on here, and we've debated. He doesn't see eye to eye with us on a lot of what we do, but it works out great because he's teaching the next generation. So, we're getting him to learn how important the Constitution is as it applies to people in the world or in the public, I should say, in America, and then he gets to pass that on to the next generation of cops. But our big thing is like, we call it sidewalk litigation. So now it's like, say for example, a cop comes up to you and you just walked across the street and he tries to say you jaywalked. Now, in most places, how old am I? Old. In most places, if you're 100 feet or more away from a crosswalk, then there's no jaywalking. You can cross the street. You know, right in the middle of the street. So, say for example, the cop comes up to you and says, you just jaywalked, I'm going to give you a ticket. And you know you're 600 feet from the nearest crosswalk. Not even like 101 feet. You're 600 feet. You know for a fact, without a doubt in your mind, that the law says you are in the right. He is in the wrong. You understand that so far?
I think you switched it. You said they have to be within 100 feet of the thing.
To have to use a crosswalk.
But
I'm saying, say you cross the street in the middle of the street, nowhere near a crosswalk.
Right.
Okay, and the cop says you jaywalked.
Yes.
But you didn't, because you're nowhere near a crosswalk. So, you don't have to use a crosswalk because you're nowhere near one.
That's what you're saying. Okay, I understand what you're saying.
Okay, so now you say to the cop, no, I didn't. The law says I'm allowed to cross here. There's no crosswalk within 100 feet. And they give you a ticket anyways. That's what we talk about, the sidewalk litigation, is cops should be more open to, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should look the law up before I write this ticket. But they never, ever do it. Ever. We have hundreds of examples, thousands of examples, where our people will say, I know I can film here. I know I can record here. Hey, QT. QT is Josh's wife or woman. But, you know that you're right, and the cop is in the wrong, but they never ever go and check. They never want to be wrong. They never want to go and verify the law, even though they're supposed to be enforcing it. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
I could show you literally like thousands of examples of this, and that's what's sad. And one of the things I've been trying to do with my channel is push for more recognition of sidewalk litigation. Cops to be more open to, maybe he is right. You know? But they always say, well, go deal with it in the courts. Take it out in court. Oh, if you're right, then it'll wash out in court. The problem is now you gotta take off work. You gotta go get a lawyer or a public defender. You know, I mean, why should you have to do all those things when you were right to begin with?
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
that's a big thing that me personally I'm pushing for, is trying to get cops to learn they're not always right. Sometimes the person walking down the street does know more. Or at least knows that one law, you know? It could be the only law they've ever learned. But they know they're right. Mm-hmm. You'll never see them go, well, let me check with that. Let me call my sergeant and be sure. You'll never see them do that. And that's what kills me, is, I never thought about these things until I got involved in this. And then it was like, wow, all these people are right. Wow. I've always just accepted cops for what they were. Just do what they told.
Right.
Cop tells you give you ID, you give them ID. I never questioned it.
Right.
You guys, what are you guys yelling about? Jeez. Yes, Carolina, exactly. Sheeple need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh, you're right too. Yeah, but that's just it, Bob. I'm saying we shouldn't have to negotiate. We should have to say, I believe I know this law. You need to verify it before you arrest me. Hey, Mike Jones. You know what I mean? I should be able to say, check that law. Check with your sergeant or your lieutenant or whatever, your CO, instead of just assuming that I'm wrong.
Right.
Wobbly. Okay, well, we've been on about an hour and a half, guys. I'm gonna let her go eat dinner and hang out with the chillins. And before we go, though, you gotta tell them to come say goodbye.
Okay.
So just
Give me a
holler.
second.
Oh, come on, you don't do like the old school days?
Well, I would yell right in the microphone. That's not good. Diana, Phoebe, come say bye. Please. Diana? Diana?
Close, Albert. There's two N's, but yeah. I'm trying to get her to start her own channel. So,
Go ahead, Phoebe. Say.
Oh, bye.
bye, Phoebe. You turned the camera off.
Who did?
Somebody did. Your camera's off.
Oh, no. Oh, no. There.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Viana. So, Viana, I could help you set this up so you could do something like this on your channel.
I would love to. That's like,
Set this up. You could have your friends on there with you or whatever.
that would be a lot of fun, honestly. I would like to help in there.
So, alright guys, well, you got to meet my ex, the mother of my children, and 1.5 of my children.
Right. My runt. Our runt. Nice meeting everybody. You guys have
Yeah,
a
I'll
great
try
day.
to get her to come back on again. So,
If not, just me then.
thanks everybody for hanging out with us and shooting the breeze and talking about school. And I'll just see you all on the next one.